Alrighty, so you go ahead here, you hop into the Mine Mine No Me mod for the first time, and you go on ahead and you get this character creator. Now obviously you can start with your faction, you can pick whatever you want, you can pick whatever your race you want to be as well. But then you think about, hey, what devil fruit do I want? But you can't exactly start with a devil fruit, you have to start out with a fighting style. So in this video today, guys, we are going to be going over all of these fighting styles here, which can be Blackleg, Brawler, Art of Weather, Doctor, Sniper, and a Swordsman. And I'm going to be showing you guys how you can master all of these fighting styles that can get you on your way to finding an awesome devil fruit that could also get you on the way to just having really cool duels and different abilities that you can have whenever your devil fruit's on cooldown or whatever you have besides that. So yeah, we're gonna be taking a look at all these fighting styles today. Hope you all really enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 1K and we're really close there. And if you guys like Mine Mine No Me, I am gonna be doing more Mine Mine No Me videos that are going over this mod, showing more things, as well as other anime mods, Minecraft, Roblox, and just multiple other types of things as well. So if you guys are interested in any of that type of stuff, remember, smash that like button and to subscribe. Helps out a lot. So first off, I already went ahead and showed you guys the 5 types of mating fighting styles you get, but I want to go ahead and explain some things in general to actually show you guys more over how you actually can get these and how these fighting styles work out for when you first start out the game. So first off, you will always spawn with that character creator like we had shown before, this character creator here. Once you use it, you'll be able to choose your race, what faction you're with, whether you're a pirate, a marine, revolutionary army, or a bounty hunter. And you'll be able to choose, obviously, your fighting style. So when you pick a fighting style, you will spawn with one of these trainers. So I'm going to go ahead here and just spawn one of each of them for you guys. Sorry, I didn't click that. And yeah, so you are going to start with either the Sniper trainer, which is going to be, they can all be different skins, but they're all going to be holding bows. You'll obviously have the Brawler, which is a fighter. You have the Big A Fist. You obviously have the Swordsman, which is how you end up being more like Zoro and different things like that. You have the Doctor, where you can be like Chopper. And then you have the Art of Weather teacher, which you obviously know as one of the Skypian, weather wizards. And then you have, obviously, the Blackleg trainer, which is going to train you in how to use Blackleg. So these are all going to be able to spawn counting on what class you pick. So if you pick, like, let's say the Doctor class, a Doctor will actually spawn not too far from you, and counting on where you wander and stuff, they will casually spawn around you. These actually spawn pretty commonly, so you don't actually have to worry about the class you pick. So once you pick a class, essentially that class will always be spawning around you or something after just, a little while, to make sure you always have that. Now you might be wondering, well, okay, now I have my class, how do I get the moves and the different things that I actually need for it? Well, funny enough, the only way you do that is by right-clicking and going to these trials. Now, because I'm not a doctor, he doesn't have any trials for me, because you can actually find all of these trainers throughout the world. So if you ever get a different character creator, a different way how to do stuff, sorry about these guys, you'll actually be able to figure out, a different way on how to use, these other fighting styles as well, in case you ever get bored and want to switch. But, yeah, no, in the main place, I am right now, I believe, if I actually quickly check, a Swordsman. So I actually need to talk to this guy right here. So if I right-click on him, he will have my hockey training and he will have trial training. Hockey training will come in a different video, so I am going to be doing a video over hockey, so remember, subscribe for that. It's very important. But you have to click on the trials. And so as a Swordsman, I could do both of these trials here. So I could do both of them, and, counting on the trials that I picked, let's say this, because this is how you actually get all of the fighting moves, all I have to do is press R, go into quest, and it will literally tell me. It will tell me both of the quests, and you can accept up to 4 quests at one time. But once I finish these quests, I will actually be able to unlock the specific moves for each fighting style. So yeah, that's literally it. That's all you have to do. You'll have different quests like the ones that we had just looked at, where you have to kill 30 enemies with your fist, which I've already done. So bada bing, bada boom. Now I'm going to go ahead and have the suplex. These are Blackleg moves, by the way. These aren't, I don't even think these are actually for Swordsman, but you'll get Swordsman quests when you talk to him and you do the trial. But yeah, so no, all you have to do is just finish those quests, and bada bing, bada boom, you will get the actual moves, and that's how you do it in survival. Now, if you're in creative and you just want all of the abilities for yourself, you don't want to have to worry about anything like that, you just want to go ahead and have all the abilities for you, all you have to do is type in this easy command here. So ability, you just hit tab, then you just go to unlock group, or you can just type in UN, hit tab again, space whatever fighting style you want. So let's say, oh, because I'm a swordsman, I want swordsman, right? You would type in SW tab yet again, you'll pull up swordsman, and then you just type in the username of the Minecraft account you are using, or whoever else you want to give it to. So obviously I'm going to give it to myself, so Revelation 441. Hit enter, and bada bing bada boom, you will now unlock all of the abilities for that fighting style. So that's just an easy command to be able to do it in creative mode, or if you just want to go ahead and give yourself without having to do all the trials and things like that. Easy way to give it to yourself right there, bada bing bada boom. So you don't really have to worry about too much. Now obviously I already have the Brawler class selected here. I already have all of these moves, but I also learned all of these Swordsman moves here. So these are all the Brawler moves, these are all the Swordsman moves. You can add them up if you would like. You can use whichever ones you want to use. You just have to scroll down. So just remember that, like, hey, you'll instantly have access to all of these moves and everything else once you do that. Now, let's say, oh, I don't want to be able to use Swordsman anymore. I just want to be able to use Brawler or Blackleg, whatever. So to be able to actually lock yourself out or get rid of all the abilities or moves that you have, all you want to do is type in ability, tab again. You want to go to lock group. So lock group, and then let's just say Swordsman yet again. Type in my username again, hit enter. Now, if I go back to abilities and I go back here, I don't have the swordsman moves anymore. So that's how you essentially unlock all of them in creative mode. That's how you de-lock all of them in creative mode, counting on what you want to do. So if you want to do that, instead of actually having to go through and do all the trials yourself and actually manually level it up, including your hockey and things like that, you can go ahead and do that as well. So yeah, that's essentially how you can get these other versions of the moves, how the spawns work. You can also find them in different structures, like this marine base over here, and obviously that Sky Island that's right there. The Sky Island's where you find the wizard one. So there is set places you can find certain trainers in case you're learning to actually, you know, legitimately learn different types of fighting styles. So yeah, just remember that. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead here now and explain each individual fighting style in a lot of detail. I'm gonna be explaining each of them, what they do, their kind of their pros, their cons, and everything else. So yeah, let's go ahead, hop right on over to that. We're gonna be starting with the Brawler class, and yet again, guys, like I said, remember to subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Might as well if you're gonna be seeing more of this Mind Know Me content. So yeah, no, that's it from me. Let's go on ahead, get right on into these classes. Alrighty guys, so the first class that we're going to be looking at for this video is going to be none other than the Brawler class. And yeah, so you guys can go ahead and get all the moves for the Brawler class after you select them, obviously, from the Fighting or Brawler, you know, trainer. You know, all you have to do is just trials and you'll be able to get all these moves like I explained earlier in the video. So next up, we're going to go ahead here and take a look at the actual moves themselves. So these are all the moves you can get for the Brawler. And sorry if I mispronounce some of these, but I think I'll do a pretty good job. So for the Genkotsu Meteor, this is essentially you throwing a crap ton of cannonballs. So you can either throw a singular cannonball or you could throw multiple cannonballs when you're in Ryusegon mode. So to be able to use Ryusegon mode, all you have to do is shift and then hit the ability. You will switch modes. The game will tell you switch modes. You won't actually use the ability. Then all you have to do is hold the actual cannonball in your hand, and then you can start launching them at people. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Next up, we have none other than the King Punch from the Elizabello II, which we see in the Dressrosa arc of One Piece. A super awesome, super sick freaking ability, even though it does take a really long time. And it does have a lot of downsides, but I'm going to show you guys what it could do. Pretty awesome ability, if I do say so myself. Next up, we have the Haiko Ho. So the user punches with enough force to create an explosion. Essentially, it's just explosion punch, nothing more than that. The Jinsenho, which punches the ground and causes a quake that damages everyone around you, but it doesn't actually damage the ground around you, so it's a pretty cool ability when you guys see that one as well. The Spinning Brawl, which grabs an opponent, you essentially grab them, and essentially you just freaking spin them around, and then they just kind of die or take a crap ton of damage. It's really, really cool. You guys will be able to see that as well. And then we have finally the Suplex, which grabs an opponent from behind, and then it launches them into the ground, and essentially launches them up, and then causes slight explosion damage. So let me go ahead here and show you guys these abilities. Yet again, all you have to do to be able to select the abilities, go into abilities, click on the ability, click here for the ability, click on the slot you want, and then, you know, if I just click this again, it'll undo it. But if I click here, click this move again, it'll put it here, and this will be in your combat hotbar. So all you have to do to be able to access your combat hotbar from your normal hotbar is simply just press the Alt button on your keyboard. And once you do that, you will be in battle mode, essentially, and then you can start using these moves. So, first off, I'm going to go ahead and need some cannonballs, which I do have here. Let me quickly scroll to them. Here we go. So, this will be the normal mode for the first ability. So, you just press 1, boom, throws a singular cannonball, nothing more. So, that's literally it. You just have to hold cannonballs, which you can get from, you know, pirate ships, marine ships, anything like that. and do that. So if you want to activate the Rasengan mode, all you have to do is hit shift, hit 1, your move will be set to this mode, that's literally it, then you just press 1, and now you will launch, I believe it's 6 cannonballs. You will launch 6 cannonballs that cause explosion damage that do a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You can use that in first ability as well. So for the second ability, you're going to go ahead here, have an empty hand, you're going to go ahead and push this, and this steam will all start to come around you. Now, this move is kind of bad for this reason. You see, it has about a 1,000 second to 900 second cooldown before you actually utilize it. So yeah, I cannot move, I cannot do anything. It's just the steam will come around me. And yeah, essentially you'll be throwing out this massive explosion punch that will destroy an area around you and do things as well. You do not have armor, I believe, when doing this. You don't have anything else. If people I believe, can still hit you and potentially even kill you when utilizing this. I haven't been able to test it out with any friends just yet. So it is kind of bad, but it is really good when you see the amount of damage, which is about to go off in a few seconds. But yes, it does have that charge up, and it does kind of leave you vulnerable, so that is kind of the problem with it. But, you know, once you actually get this move off, like we're about to right about now, yeah, this is the damage that move could cause. Massive damage to just everything. Massive damage. So, like, yeah, no, it does an insane amount of damage, so you definitely don't have to worry about the damage with it, but it's definitely that build up is going to, it's going to take a little while. Moving on to the third ability, pretty simple. Just punch, explosion. Doesn't really do anything on the ground or anything like that, just punches and causes an explosion. For the fourth ability, kind of the same thing, but in a larger scale. So quickly here, just going to go into third person. Boom. Yeah, anything within that area that I just popped off right there will instantly, you know, just die. That's it. Or just take damage. That's literally all it does. Nothing else. Don't have to worry about it. Now, this other ability, you do actually have to, I believe, be behind your opponent or at least close to them. And I'm going to do it in third person, but you can do it in first person. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like in first person as well. All you have to do is press 5. You will grab them. You will start spinning with them, and then bada bing, bada boom, after a little while, boom, they just take damage. I don't believe it one-shots. I don't believe it causes any damage or anything like that. Pretty sure it just does that amount of damage. And then finally for the suplex, you have to be behind your opponent when doing this. You cannot do this in front of them. You have to be behind them. Walk up to them. Push, sorry, I'm putting the wrong key. Hit 6. You will grab them. And then, yeah, you'll just cause a little bit of damage. They'll get thrown up into the air. And, yeah, that'll do a small bit of damage. Not a lot, but definitely not a little bit of damage. And, yeah, that is essentially Brawler. Those are all the moves you're going to get if you choose a Brawler class. In my opinion, a little bit outdated, a little bit kind of, you know, bad. It could be better. There are definitely better classes out there, but yeah, that's definitely going to be the Brawler class. I'm going to quickly show you guys just what this spinning move looks like in first person for you guys. Yep, just like this. You're spinning. You can't really stop the spinning or anything, but yeah, that's what it looks like. So yeah, no, that is the Brawler class. Let's go ahead and move on here to the other classes. Alrighty, so I guess we're going to go here and look at the second of the fighting styles, and that is going to go ahead and be Swordsman. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead here, take a look very quickly at Swordsman, and yeah, I'm going to be honest with you guys, this one is kind of even lamer than Brawler, but it really is up to you. It's kind of like an extra helping fighting style that you can use just in between whenever you're using your Devil Fruits or whatever, but yeah, let's go ahead here, get on into the moves. So first up, we have Shishi Sonson, which obviously the user dashes forward and rapidly slashes the opponent. It's really just kind of like, you'll dash forward and you'll hit any enemies that you essentially hit with that dash. Next up you have Yokadori, which launches a crescent moon shaped slash, which destroys everything in its path. That's essentially just an upward moon kind of shape slash forwards. Next up you have San Bakuri Ro Kujo Pound Ho, which essentially is like, I'm pretty sure like whatever Pound Phoenix or whatever else that Zora uses. The user launches a powerful range slash causing great destruction, which is kind of essentially just like this crescent moon slash from the side or horizontal. Otatsumaki, which is essentially, you know, Dragon Twister. So essentially it's by spinning, user creates a small tornado which slashes a weakened nearby opponents. And then next up we have Hyori Kaien, which the user leaps into the air and then it hits the ground, releasing a big flaming shockwave slash. Which all these sound sick, but when you actually use them, it's a little bit different. So let's go ahead here and use some of these moves. So first off, there is no like 2 or 3 sword style. Really, you can only use these with 1 sword. I haven't been able to figure out if there is anything like that in the game. It doesn't seem to be, but maybe in future updates, these will actually have stronger versions of them, depending on if you know you can get that or not. But for right now, when you press CC Zone, which is the first ability, that's it. You just leap forward, and anything that's in your path, you can go ahead and hit with that move. So yeah, just quickly gonna let this move cool back down. One, yeah, anything that's in that range gets hit with the move. CC Zone. Bada bing, bada boom. Next up, we have obviously the just straight up projectile move, kind of. That's like the first of it. And yeah, so you just press it and you get a upwards forward slash. So yeah, nothing really, you know, great, just forward slash, just like that. Nothing really to be excited about, just a straight projectile. Next up we have obviously, you know, whatever pound caliber Phoenix, which essentially is just the same, but it does multi-explosion damage and hits from the side. So yeah, it is stronger, definitely, but you know, at the end of the day, it's just another version of that projectile. After that, we have go ahead here. It is going to be Dragon Twister. So essentially, you will create this little explosion particle effect around you, and anything within that area is going to get hit with it. You know, super exciting, I guess, but, you know, yeah, you could use that as long as you have a sword. So, yeah, gonna quickly go ahead and show you guys what this looks like in third person. Bada bing, bada boom. Yep, anything within the area dies. And then, obviously, you know, the other one's just a projectile in third person. So, next up, we're going to be moving on to the final move, which is obviously going to be this flaming slash upwards. It's nothing really too special. Going to go ahead and here show it to you guys, just so you guys can see for yourself. So, you launch yourself up, land on the ground, cause a huge explosion of fire. So yeah, not as cool as you'd think it would be. It's just alright, I guess. It's decent for when, you know, you don't have your Devil Fruit abilities, but other than that, it's just like whatever, I guess. So yeah, no, that's going to be Swordsman. Alrighty guys, so for the third class or fighting style that we're going to be looking at, we are going to look at Sniper. Sorry, I couldn't remember the name of it for a second. But yeah, now we're going to be looking at Sniper. So essentially this is with bows, this is with Kabuto, which I'm going to be showing off some things here with Kabuto. But also here's a green Koja bow, which is essentially, you know, the Snake Princess and or, you know, Amazonian type bows. But yeah, essentially this is like a bow slash ranger class. That's essentially what you're going to be using it for. That's essentially what all of its abilities do. So first off, we're going to go ahead here and check out its abilities. So you have Kaien Bushi, which fires a flaming pellet that sets the target on fire. You have Kimura Bushi, which on impact releases smoke and poison that confuses the target. You have Renpatsu Namara Bushi, which essentially fires a barrage of exploding shots, which you guys do need to watch out for something about this. I'm gonna explain it. But then you have Sakuretsu Sabuten Bushi, which is essentially it fires multiple projectiles that creates cacti around the target and kind of traps them in with cacti. So if you obviously touch cacti or cactus, you start taking prickly or like hurt damage. So it's a really cool trapping ability that you can use to kind of just trap your opponents and kind of just throw them off. Really cool. I do gotta say, I really like how that is. You have Tetsubushi, which fires a pellet that upon impact releases small iron spikes onto the ground, and these last a really long time. I don't exactly even know when these wear off, and they do a decent chunk of damage. So you really do have to be careful about this ability. Then you have the Tokyo Aburabushi, which fires a pellet that upon impact releases oil, and essentially makes the ground slippery, giving you kind of the ice effect. Plus, this is also flammable and or explodable. So it's a really cool combo move that you can use with the first ability that you have. And then you had Namura Bushi, which fires a pellet that puts the enemy to sleep for a few seconds. So for a few seconds, the enemy will not be able to move, be able to do anything. They'll essentially just, you know, fall asleep as if they were in a bed. So, yeah, really awesome ability, if I do say so myself. So we're going to go here and take a look at it. I'm going to be using Kabuto for most of these, but I do have to use this one as well for one ability, which I'm going to be explaining to you guys when we get into it. So go ahead here, change into combat mode yet again. And you do have to have a bow for all of these. I do want to make that clear. Also, another thing I want to go ahead and make clear is if you push down an ability, right, and let's say, oh, you have this ability, but you want to switch to another ability mid-fight or anything like that, you push 2, the first ability will go on cooldown, or whatever ability you had it clicked on will go on cooldown. So please do be aware of that. Don't be thinking, oh, I can just switch between my abilities because I didn't use it, I still have that time. No, that ability will go on cooldown after you do switch, if you use it or you don't. So yeah, do be careful of that. So next we're going to be showing off the first move, which essentially just is a fire pellet. So you hold right click here on Kabuto, a normal bow, literally any firing weapon essentially. I think you can even use this with a gun. And yeah, you just fire it, and then boom, it will launch out a fire pellet. It will launch the enemy and it will just hit him with fire. That's literally it. Very, 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 very basic ability. So for the second ability, you're going to go here and launch a pellet that will create a smoke cloud that will cause poison as well as confusion to the enemy. So you hit it, doom. That entire thing will cause poison and confusion to anyone who gets in it. I believe even yourself. So do be careful about when you're using it, how you're using it, how far you want to use it. Because honestly, pretty strong ability, and it covers a huge area. So you definitely want to be careful when utilizing this. Now, for this third ability is where I do have to go ahead and explain some things. So you cannot use Kabuto with this third ability. I'm going to show you why. If you use Kabuto with this third ability, regardless of what you do, I believe if you aim up, you can get this. But if you just aim it, like, let's say at that slime right there, right? You will explode the bottom of the ground underneath you, which you don't want to be doing. And this only affects Kabuto because of the way how Kabuto is set up. Now, if I try to, like, look up into the sky, no, it still explodes the ground underneath you, even if you look up into the sky. So, yeah. No, using this with any of the Kabuto weapons, which right now I am using the black Kabuto weapons. I'll go ahead and here show you because I'm in creative mode. You have this Kabuto, you have Kuro Kabuto, and then you have Ginga Pachinko. I believe with any three of these weapons, it will all cause these explosions directly into the ground, which you clearly don't want. But if you use a normal bow and you use the ability, like this Kuro bow, or even if you just use a normal Minecraft bow, or potentially a gun, it won't do that normally. It's because I aim down, I've had. And you aim up a little bit, aim up a little bit higher. Yeah, no, it will launch a couple of really weird placed projectiles like that will explode. So if you just aim it correctly, which I can't seem to do right now, you want to explode the ground underneath you. I just keep aiming it like way too low. Because you have to like aim it perfectly, but you literally cannot aim it with Kabuto. Like aiming it with Kabuto, you will always hit the ground underneath you. It is possible to aim it properly with the bow though. But to be fair, that's kind of just a deadly ability in general. I don't really know why it does that, but either way, what I gotta say, it's like if you could get it properly, you can actually max it out. If I could ever get this ability to work, it's like I don't know why, but it's just like you will always explode the ground underneath you. I was able to do it successfully a few times earlier. Yeah, like that. See what I'm saying? It's kind of random. It's very aim dependent, but literally with Kabuto, it's impossible. So do be careful of that if you are going to try to using Kabuto and using that ability. Anyway, we're going to be using the next ability, and that is going to be the Cactus ability. So, wrong one. So with this Cactus ability, literally all you have to do, hold right click, and we're going to go ahead here, and I guess we'll just pick this guy. Shoot it. I missed, but as you can see, yeah, no, it clearly it spawns cacti. Some of them do disappear after a while very quickly, so yeah, you don't have to really worry about that. They disappear kind of quickly. I believe if you just like touch them, yeah, they'll disappear eventually, or it'll actually drop, you know, real cactus and put it in your inventory. So if you're ever looking for cactus, this is another way for you to also gain cactus, which is pretty cool. But yeah, no, it actually, it really does actually just put cactus around the enemy, and it will cause prickle damage if they run into it or anything like that. So hey, yeah, no, free cactus if you want it. Fast way, really decent at trapping as well. It's pretty solid ability if I do say so myself. So next up we have the nail ability. Now, quickly, actually, before I use this, I do want to go ahead here and just spawn a few marines so I can show you guys how this works. So if I just quickly here shoot them, it will launch spikes, and like I said, if you stand on these spikes, you'll be taking damage like these men here. So yeah, no, if you walk on these spikes, you'll be taking damage as well. So I'm not going to change my game mode. I was about to, just to show you guys that yes, even yourself, if you yourself walk on these spikes, you will take damage. So please do be careful about that. But I'm not going to, counting on the fact these are a bunch of marines, and currently I'm a pirate, so unless I want to, you know, obviously die and get shot up, yeah, but yeah, these spikes will actually hurt you as well. So yeah, and they last a super long time. I don't even know when they wear off. So yeah, and they do a lot of damage very fast. So really awesome ability here, really good, just for killing stuff. But yeah, do be careful with that. So next up, we're gonna be taking a look at the oil ability. Now this is kind of one of my favorite abilities because you can actually tie it in with the first ability. So all you have to do, hit here, you'll shoot, you'll hit an enemy, and this will activate oil. Now the oil allows you to move a bit faster, it's more slippery, it gives you kind of an ice effect on the surface. You might be thinking, well, that's it just hits them with a projectile and causes oil. Well, this is actually explodable oil. So if I go ahead here, use the first ability, which is lighting obviously an enemy on fire, boom, you can create a small, essentially, explosion. If you light it with flint and steel, it will also cause an explosion, but obviously any fire abilities, whether you use Mara, just anything that's fire related will cause this to explode, and then you could deal this amount of damage, and then you can also create like huge fire puddles or whatever you want to do. So yeah, if you ever want to just light some place on fire real quick and do it, you can obviously, you know, just shoot the oil and then obviously light it on fire. So it's like kind of like a mini explosion plus a combo ability. Really awesome ability if I do say so myself. And then for the final ability, here we're just going to have sleep. So if I just hit him with it, bada bang, bada boom, he's asleep for a few seconds. He can't do anything. He's essentially can't move. He's just like asleep as if he was in a bed, and then he gets back up and he's normally fine. So yeah, no, that is the sniper class. I have to say, a very decent class. Gives you a lot of different options, gives you a lot of different ways to actually like mix up your bows and do things, and it's pretty fun, and it gives you some different options that you could just use while running away, trying to play long range. It's definitely a lot more fun to me to mess around with than Swordsman was. But definitely is interesting, and definitely is a class I would highly recommend you all go ahead and try out. Alrighty, so for the next fighting style, we are going to be taking a look at the Doctor class, which is going to be an extremely weird class, which also, in my opinion, is very questionable if you want to go for. I'm really going to leave it up to you guys whether or not you want to use this class, and I'm going to be explaining why. So first off, let's go ahead and just go over what the Doctor class actually does. So first off, for the Doctor's class, you are going to get these abilities. So first off, we have First Aid, which allows the user to heal their target. So essentially all you have to do is you have to press this ability, hit somebody or something, and essentially you will heal them, applying a healing effect. Pretty easy, pretty simple to understand. Next up, you have Medic Bag Explosion. By sacrificing the Medic's bag's durability, the user can fully heal themselves while applying debuffs to nearby enemies. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what exactly this is, how you use this, and why I don't really particularly like this class, and how things are like connected to it. So after that, you're going to have Failed Experiment. So this throws a random splash potion with a debuffed effect at the enemy, which is pretty interesting, if I do say so myself. And then after that, you have Doping, which the user injects a target with a special medicine, boosting their physical powers, but afterwards they will gain nausea. And you can actually inject this in yourself just by shifting and then clicking the ability to use it on yourself, which I will also be showing you guys on how to use. Now, why would I not recommend this ability to other people? You know, this is really like a healer ability. Obviously, you know, if you want to play the healer on your team with your friends or whatever else you want to do, or maybe even if you just want to heal yourself and debuff other people, you would play this as kind of like a subclass to whatever devil fruit you want to use, right? Well, I don't really like this ability because you need this item here, which is the Medic Bag. Now, this is an equipment in the One Piece mod. So essentially, this is a random piece of armor. I believe you have to find in either bases, in ships, or marine bases, ships, and then I believe Sky Islands potentially, or I believe you might be able to potentially buy it off of a actual Skypean trader, because if you actually go here, and let me quickly just spawn one for you guys just so I can show you guys, this would be the Doctor that you pick when you get the class. He doesn't give it to you. All he does is he gives you the trials for them that you can get the moves. He does not actually give you the item. And to use some of these, you actually really do need the item, because I'm going to go ahead here and show you. If you try using this, you need the Medic Bag. If you need this, you need the Medic Bag. You can use the third ability. Oh wait, no, you can't. You still need the Medic Bag. So for literally all of these abilities, you need the Medic Bag. So unless you can get a Medic Bag, which either, I believe you have to find them in structures, or the game will start you out with one. If the game doesn't start you out with one, though, I believe you're fucked. Just saying. But it might start you out with one. And here's the thing, you can't really repair them either, because of the way how it is. Now, obviously, you can equip them, you could put them in your actual armor slot. You could also not equip them, and I still believe you could still use the abilities. Oh no, you have to equip them. So you actually have to actually have them equipped. But anyway, here's what the Doctor's abilities are. And that's mostly the reason, sorry if I can't speak, but that is mostly the reason why I wouldn't recommend like beginners using them, is because you will probably need that Medic Bag for literally everything that's in this. But yeah, so let's say you have a friend or an ally or something that needs healing. You simply just press 1, you heal them, and bada bing bada boom, they will regain health just like that. And yeah, it doesn't take anything from the Medic Bag either, so you don't have to worry about the duration or anything of that breaking when using this ability. You just press 1, and bada bing bada boom, you heal them. Nothing else. That's literally all it is. So for the second ability, you're actually causing an explosion to the medical bag, and this will make the medical bag take damage, because the medical bag is a clothing item or an armor, so it will actually have durability. Now, I'm going to go ahead here, quickly change my game mode. I really do hope that some Marines aren't around right now to kill me, but they might be. They are. If you push it, it will cause an explosion like that little small explosion that you saw there. It will essentially heal you, and it will debuff the enemies that are in the area. So yeah, that's essentially what it does. But if I look, bada bing bada boom, the medic bag has now taken damage. And yeah, like I said, it's already hard enough to get medic bags as they are because you can't craft them in the game. So causing damage to the one you only have, or potentially the one you might have found, is kind of deadly because there's really no way to repair them either. So it's very, 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 very questionable on why that's an ability, but hey, it's an ability. So for the third ability, you essentially have this little charge up meter. It's only about 30 seconds, and then after that you will throw a random splash potion that will affect enemies randomly. You know, obviously you can use it on yourself as well. If I quickly just wait here, bada bing bada boom, it caused me nausea, so that's great. You know, great. It didn't last too long though. I'm gonna try using another one again. It caused me nausea again. Oh well, whatever. So essentially, yeah, just random splash potion. That's really all it does. It literally is just like, wow, perfect. And then for the final ability, it's essentially just injecting your enemy. I'm not gonna use it on you. Yeah, I'm going to use it on you. Essentially, it causes them to have extreme strength for a while, but then after they have that extreme strength, they will have nausea for a few seconds. And once the cooldown happens, I'm going to show you guys how you can use it on yourself as well to kind of give yourself a boost. But overall, like I said earlier, this fighting style is, in my opinion, probably the worst one you could pick, or one of the worst ones you could pick. It's like the healing and everything else is just not good enough for me to be able to pick it. Even if you wanted to play healer or something for like a team, I just think there's better devil fruit options and different things that you can use within the mod that is just straight up better. This is just not, it's like if you want to like role play like Chopper or whatever, like go for it, but other than that, no. But like I said, yeah, you just shift, you click the ability. Oh dang, actually I messed this up. But yeah, no, essentially you hit shift and then you click the ability and then you'll use it on yourself, which I have to wait another 700 seconds for. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting ability if I do say so myself. But yeah, it just gives you strength for a little while and then gives you nausea. So yeah, that's really all I'm going to say about it. I'm not even going to wait for it to run out. But yeah, no, that is the Doctor class. In my opinion, yet again, worst one in the game. So yeah, do be careful if you're going to pick this one. And only pick it if you really, 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 really like it. So yeah. Okay, so we are on the 4th out of 5 fighting styles, I do believe, and this one is going to be probably one of the coolest, but also one of the hardest to master, and that is going to be the Art of Weather class, which is essentially the Nami class. And I do want to go ahead and explain some stuff to you before we go ahead here and look at the moves, and yeah, we're going to go ahead and explain essentially these items. So, this is a normal climb tact. It's essentially, it works kind of the same way as a doctor's bag, except for the fact you have to have this. I believe if you do pick the class, I believe you might start out with this one, or if you don't, I believe you just find it in random one-piece structures, or random enemies can drop it, or I believe you can buy this off of somebody, I believe. Which is kind of the problem with these type of classes, is that it's like these ones that are very item dependent. It's like if you find one, it's cool, or if you get one, it's cool, but you can't even use all the abilities of this class unless you get up to the highest grade of the Acclimatact. And I'm not exactly sure if you can craft this. Somebody please tell me in the comment section if you can, but from what I've seen, you cannot. So yeah, first off, you'll have the normal Acclimatact, which is essentially the starter Acclimatact, you know, pre-One Piece Nami Acclimatact. Then you will have the perfect Acclimatact, which is essentially, you know, the one that she upgraded and got from Usopp. And then you obviously have the sorcery Acclimatact, which has this really cool like extendo animation, as you guys can clearly see there. But yeah, no, this is essentially the pre-time skip, you know, the most modern version of the Acclimatact that Nami has, and this is the Acclimatact that can use all of the abilities. These two here can only use some of the abilities. For this showcase, I am going to be using the sorcery Acclimatact, which showcases all of the abilities, but do know that you will not be able to do certain abilities counting on if you have one of these two. You'll be able to do some, but definitely not all of them. To be able to use all of them, you will need the sorcery Acclimatact. So yeah, that's definitely important and something I definitely want to let you guys know before we go on ahead and we get into the actual showcase. So next up, we're going to go here, we're going to clear click and look at the abilities. Now this is the fighting style that probably has the most, if not, no, without a shadow of a doubt, this is the one that has the most abilities. So first off, you will have Heat Ball, which launches a Heat Ball from your Acclimatact to use different types of tempos. You can also shift and use it to actually load the ball into your Acclimatact, essentially allowing you to do other abilities. And you could do this with all 3 of the balls. So After that, we have the Cool Ball, which launches a Cool Ball for your climb attack to use different type of tempos. Essentially, you can load it in your climb attack. And then a Thunderball, which launches a Thunderball for your climb attack, which you can also use for different types of tempos, which we're going to be going over the tempos in a second because they're probably the thing that make this the largest and kind of coolest to use out of all of the fighting styles. So, next we have the Weather Egg, which instantly creates a weather cloud as combining a Cool Ball and a Heat Ball, which is something else that I'll show you guys in a bit. And then we have the Gust Sword, which fires a concentrated wind blast forward from your actual thing. So this just does a lot of damage. It's very, very fast, very, very cool. This very basic ability, you don't have to worry about this. Weather Egg is essentially just a faster version of one of the tempos I'm going to be showing you, and then obviously you just have the balls. So we're going to go here and show you all of these. All of these are all the passives. These are all things that you could do utilizing them. I'm going to try showing all of them off, but if I accidentally skip one or something goes wrong, just say like, hey, yo, you guys can experiment in your own time with it because there is a lot you could do with this. So first off, you have the Weather Cloud tempo, which if you add a Cool Ball plus a Heat Ball, it creates a cloud above you. You have the Thunderbolt tempo, where if you make a Thundercloud, whether it be with the egg or with the actual fire and Heat Ball, and then you add a Thunderbolt to it, you can launch a Lightning Bolt underneath that cloud at an enemy. You have Thunderstorm tempo, where essentially if you do Thunderbolt tempo and then you add 2 more Thunderbolts to that, it can hit multiple enemies below with multiple lightning bolts, which is pretty cool. After that, you have Thunder Lance tempo, where if you take 3 charged Thunderballs, which is essentially the charge balls are actually putting the balls in your actual climb attack. So essentially all you have to do is just shift click and then use one of the ball attacks, and you will essentially get a charged version of the ball. So that's essentially just you shift click and then you press the Thunderbolt 3 times. You will gain access to the Thunder Lance, which is essentially just wherever you're pointing at. It'll have a little bit of a delay. Wherever you're pointing at, you will launch out a Thunderbolt from your hand essentially and hit somebody with that. Pretty cool. You have Fog tempo, which is 2 charge Heat Balls, which is essentially charging, which is yet again shift clicking the charge actual Heat Ball. So you get 2 of those, and then you charge 1 Cool Ball, which said again is just shift click on the Cool Ball. You'll create a thick fog over your existence, so you kind of like confuse enemies with that. You have Mirage tempo, where if you yet again charge 2 Cool Balls and then you charge a Heat Ball, you'll create clones of yourself. And then you finally have Rain tempo, which if you use a Weather Cloud, and then you add 3 Cool Balls to it, it will start to create rain. So I'm just going to go ahead here and show you guys the most basic to start off with, which is just the normal cloud without using the egg. So all you have to do for that is you do Heat Balls, which if you hold them, you can quickly do 3 or 4 Heat Balls in the air, and then you just add some Cool Balls to it. That's literally it. Or actually, yeah, just like that. So that makes a basic cloud. Now this will last a little bit. Also, sorry about that little bug out. This will last a little bit, and then it will disappear. So you do have to be kind of quick with it. Do know that. But once you start getting used to using the ability, that's literally all you have to do. So just Cool Balls, and then, or Heat Balls, and then Cool Balls. That's literally it. Once you add a few of each, you will get this. And then if you start adding Thunderballs to it, which is the third option, we start adding that, which you can add them before you actually add in both the Cool Balls and the Heat Balls. And I think you could do it in any order. You're still going to create the same thing. You will get a Thunderball. Now, if you quickly do this, and I quickly switch over to this, which, sorry, I have to actually remake the clouds now because I should have actually spawned these guys beforehand. I'll go ahead and show you. But, yeah, you do have to also have a climb attack in hand when using these abilities, so do be wary of that. But, yeah, no, you just start using the Heat Balls, start using these, and then you start throwing some of these lightning ones up. It will create a lightning bolt tempo. Just wait a couple seconds. Bada bing, bada boom. That was the multi-hit one, by the way. If you add 3 lightning balls to it, you'll get a multi-hit where you can just hit multiple enemies. If you add, I believe, 2 to it, which is like that, Cool Balls, and I think you add like 1 or 2, it's like 1 or 2 of these, you'll get a single hit, I believe. Yeah, just like that, you'll get a single hit. So that is the multi-hit as well as the single hit Thunderbolt tempo, and like I said, pretty freaking cool. And also, yeah, like I said, it is lingering, so as long as it lingers, you can hit people with it. I'm gonna go ahead here and show you guys Weather Egg real quick, because if you launch Weather Egg, bada bing, bada boom, it will automatically make a cloud for you, and then obviously you can just throw, some Thunderballs into it. Bada bing, bada boom, just like that, and then bada bing, bada boom. You can instantly have a Thundercloud if you don't want to combine a Heat and you don't want to combine a Cold Ball. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. Hopefully here, if I remember correctly, I believe it's rain tempo. If you just keep adding Cool Ball, no. Let me quickly look at it again. Well, it's like I said, you're going to have to be doing this constantly because some of these, it's like, wow, it's just like some of that. So yeah, weather cloud plus 3 cool balls. That's literally all it takes. So gonna go ahead here and use the weather egg because it's more convenient, and then we're gonna go ahead here and throw up like 2 or 3 cool balls. It should cause rain. If it doesn't, it did not. Very weird, if I do say so myself. I really did think, because maybe it is exactly 3 if I remember correctly, but either way, it's essentially where you can create rain. Like I said, you're gonna have to experiment with this stuff a bit. Some of this stuff works right away, some of it doesn't. It's very weird, but yeah, you can essentially create like a rain cloud. You just have to experiment with it, but that's not really what we're gonna, not the biggest thing we need to worry about here. So if you go ahead here, I'm going to show you guys how to use the charge one. So the charge one, you just shift, you use it, and bada bing, bada boom, like that. This is fog tempo. 2 charge balls, 1 heat ball. This is fog. This will create fog. Obviously, you can distell. So all you have to do is just shift, hit the balls twice, throw 1 out, boom, bada bing, bada boom. You have fog tempo. And yet again, that's 2 heat balls, 1 cool ball. If you shift, you do 2 cool balls and then 1 heat ball. We will do Mirage tempo, where we create a bunch of different enemy versions of ourselves, where I do believe the enemy can still see your username, so I don't know if that will exactly confuse them. But hey, that is Mirage tempo. That is one of the various things that you could do, and I believe that's really all of the abilities. I think that was all of them except for the rain one that I ended up showing off. Oh, I didn't show off the Thunder Lance one, which is great. So this one's super easy. All you have to do is just charge lightning bolts 3 times, and then bada bing, bada boom. You have this little cloud effect, and then bada bing, bada boom. You just launch that at people. Super, super, super dope. And then I'm finally also going to show off Gust Sword as well. It'll just launch out this little quick wind, and most of the time it does damage. Some of the time it like that. It's like buggy. It really counts, but overall it's just an alright ability. Not great, but it is kind of fun. Oh no, it just doesn't affect Marines. It just affects mobs. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting enough, it only affects mobs. But yeah, no, that is the tempos. And you can also just hold these, by the way. You don't actually have to keep clicking them. You can actually just hold them. And so yeah, no, you could just hold them like that, and then bada bing, bada boom. You're essentially Nami. It's pretty dope. Like, I did gotta say, definitely is one of the coolest, actually, if not the coolest, out of all the fighting styles I think I've definitely seen. I think it's definitely interesting, and it definitely fits the One Piece aesthetic a lot. So yeah, it's definitely going to be one of the best ones you could use. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed that one, and let's go on to the final fighting style of the video. So, for the final fighting style that we're going to be looking at, it is going to be none other than the legendary fighting style of Black Leg Sanji, otherwise known as Black Leg. So, yes, we're going to look at the Black Leg fighting style. This is the final fighting style you could pick out of the other 4 that obviously I showed before this. And yeah, it's going to be Sanji's fighting style. Now, as you guys can already see here from the default idle stance, you will have your leg up. Whenever you're not walking, you'll have your leg up. And on your basic attacks, you'll be using your foot to kick. Now, I do want to show you guys what this looks like in first person, because you will not have your hand anymore. You will actually have your foot. So you're essentially picking up things, fighting things, hitting things with your actual foot. So yeah, no, if you guys don't like looking at your leg a lot, don't use Black Leg. But yeah, if you don't mind, you don't care, you guys will be looking at and using your foot for most things moving forward. So after that, we're going to go here and look at all the abilities. So first off, we're going to be looking at Diable Jambe. Obviously, everyone knows that this is Sanji. Whenever he spins, he creates friction. His leg turns on fire. Classic move. Just gives you a buff to literally all of your moves. Essentially allows you to add fire to literally everything. After that, you're going to have Skywalk, which allows the user to kick air beneath themselves and launch themselves into the air. Essentially, you will get 2 really fast air boosts, or kind of like a way for you to get away. It does not work the same way as Geppo. Geppo actually does allow you to get a few more walks in than this does, because this one you can only use it twice, but it does actually have, I'm pretty sure, a faster cooldown. So yeah, it's interesting. I'll show you guys. Antimatter kick course, which essentially is a spinning kick that you will use. It will launch enemies into the air, dealing a crap ton of damage. Unfortunately though, with this move you cannot move while using it, so essentially we'll use it in place, but I'll show you guys how that works and how all this stuff functions. After that, you'll have Extra Hachette, which essentially launches a barrage of kicks. It's essentially just really fast kicks. They actually are projectiles, so you can actually get hit things from kind of far, but it is a pretty medium projectile. Not too great, not too bad. It just is what it is. And then after that, you get Party Table Kick Course, which is the user does a handstand, and on the ground essentially allows them to spin. You can't move while using this one either. I'm just going to be honest with you guys, you cannot move at all while using this, which is extremely weird. Why you can't, but you can't move while using this one, which is very, very weird. But you'll see that as well. And then you have Concasse, which essentially is a leap forward, and then it kicks all enemies for moderate damage, and it knocks them down, which is super interesting. And then essentially you have Bien Cute Grill Shot, which is kind of the ultimate move that you can only use when you have Diablo Jambe activated. It's a strong kick that launches the user forward. It creates a grill pattern particle, or essentially projectile, and it will set any and everything on fire in front of it. So yeah, Blackleg is a very, very, very interesting ability to use. So I'm not going to go ahead and show off Diablo Jambe first. I want to show off all the normal moves first, and then we'll get on to Diablo Jambe. Now, when using not Diablo Jambe, but when using Blackleg, I would highly recommend using Blackleg in third person. It's a lot easier until you get used to the abilities. Once you get used to the abilities, you can use them in first person, but for the majority of the showcase, I want to showcase a lot of this stuff in third person. So yeah, just gonna go ahead and talk about that, but some of the basic stuff I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys in first person. So first off, let's go ahead and do Skywalk. So for Skywalk, boom, you'll get the little Geba sound effect, and you won't actually take fall damage from this. Even if you're in survival, it will give you 2 quick boosts into the air, just like that. And then you go on cooldown. You can't use it anymore. So it is worse Geppo, but if you use it in tangent with Geppo, it does have faster cooldown, and obviously you could still, use it to get away from enemies and just get, a quick burst away from people. So after that, you have Antimatter Kick Course, which essentially gives you this, I used the wrong ability, sorry about that, that's the Barrage Kicks, which I'll show off more of that in a second. But, yeah, you click on it, you'll be able to use it, time it, and then if you hit somebody with it, bada bing, bada boom, you'll launch them up in the air, and that's it. Now, if you do click on the ability, you don't use it, it will actually eventually, I believe, wear off and go into cooldown, so do try to use it whenever you click on the ability. But yeah, no, you just hit somebody with it, launches them in the air, that's literally all it does. So after that, you'll have the, obviously, Barrage of Kicks. So, like I said earlier, they are projectiles. It's very weird about these marine hitboxes. They work really well on slimes and stuff, but essentially, like, yeah, you'll do like a bunch of multi-clicks, and then small projectiles will come out, and essentially it is a barrage of kicks that you will be able to launch at the opponents. Now, without Diablo Jambe, obviously, this just does normal damage, and it works well against mobs. For some reason, it doesn't work too well against marines, which is kind of weird, but okay. So yeah, no, you could use that as a barrage of moves. Now, next up is Party Table Kick Course. Now, I definitely want to show you guys how this works because you cannot move while doing this move. So yeah, essentially, you will spin on your hand, and yeah, for some reason, these marines don't have hitboxes. Oh, it's probably because I am a marine, I'm assuming. Yeah, I am a marine. That's why it's not doing any damage. My bad. So yeah, no, if you pick a pirate or anything else, you'll be able to do damage to marines. If you don't, obviously, you won't be able to. So let me quickly just showcase it on these slimes. So yeah, no, you just do that. It'll launch the enemy pretty far, by the way. It does launch them pretty far. But yeah, no, you'll stand on your hands, do a quick fast spin, you'll be able to hit them, and it'll do that little animation. Other people see the animation. When you do it in first person, you actually don't see animation, which is why I said you do have to kind of think of these things. But you will still launch the enemy when doing it. So yeah, no, kind of just think of it as a push away ability in first person, but when you're doing it in third person, you can see exactly what you're doing, and you don't have to think about it at all. So for this final ability, which is going to be Concasse, before we get on to Diablo Jambe, is going to be a jump. So essentially, you will jump up in the air, and if you hit the enemy from above while doing the jump, it will do damage. It's pretty good. Actually, no, that's not what I want to say. It's pretty good for getting height. It's not really great for doing damage. In third person, obviously, it's a lot cooler because you actually do a flip. And then you can slam down and do that stuff. So yeah, that flip animation, super sick looking, I do gotta say. So yeah, if you ever want to climb up something or do something really cool like that, yeah, definitely is a move you can use. It's not very fast in any direction per se, but yeah, the height on it is definitely not something you want to miss, because that flip animation is just super, 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 super sick. So yeah. Now that we have all of that settled up, we're going to go ahead here and activate Diablo Jambe, which you do get to only use for half of these 500 seconds. You would think you could use it for a full 500 seconds, but you don't. As you can see, your leg will obviously turn on fire and turn kind of a reddish color. Anything you hit from now on will also be set on fire. So, yep, that is, the little thing for Diablo Jambe is, if you hit anything with it, bada bing, bada boom, they will get set on fire. Obviously, this doesn't affect Skywalk or anything like that, but it does add a flame particle, and use it. So yeah, no, if you guys want that little flame particle to follow you whenever you have it on, yeah, you can use it. But like I said, there's the time, that's the cooldown. So yeah, you only get about realistically like 300 to 200 seconds with it. You don't actually get the full 500, which is kind of an unfortunately, I think a letdown, because like for how awesome Diablo Jumbe is, it's like you barely get to use it. But yeah, let me go ahead and pop it again, and let me show you guys some of the stuff it does. So once you pop it, all of your moves will also be powered up. So if I go ahead here and quickly use 3, I will launch enemies in the air and be able to set them on fire. If I use the multi-shot move, now everything will be caught on fire if they get hit with the barrage, which is super cool. If I use party kick table course, obviously, it will create a burning flame around me as well. Instead of just doing the normal kicking move, it will do that, and then obviously, you know, with the flip, it will cause a flip of fire that I could smack down and cause anything to have fire on it. So yeah, that's also cool. Also, let me quickly show off. Well, I tried, but yeah, once Diablo Jumbe comes back, I will show you guys what that looks like in third person, so you guys can see that in full. But yeah, no, it just adds fire effects to literally all of your basic attacks, and things that you already had. So yeah, if you guys really, you know, want to be burning up shit and kind of just throwing stuff around, it's a pretty awesome ability, if I do say so myself. I mean, it adds a lot. It just gives like so much coolness. Like, you just set all that stuff on fire, and then bada bing, bada boom, you get that little flame effect with the whole circle. But no, the thing that you're really looking forward to is going to be this ultimate move here. So for the ultimate move, which is essentially the grill shot, you essentially launch yourself forward, dealing extreme damage, as well as throwing out an imprinted projectile of actually your foot. Now I'm going to go ahead here and try to showcase this in third person. Just so you guys can see what this looks like in third person, because it is a little bit easier to hit in third person. Actually, no, it's a little bit harder to hit in third person, as I meant to say, than first person. But hey, you know, you could still hit it pretty easily. So pop Diablo Jumbe, and then once we get the ability here, all you have to do is just push it. So 7, bada bing, bada boom, you will launch yourself forward, dealing extreme damage, and then also launching that little itty bitty projectile that will also cause flame damage. And so yeah, no, that is essentially Blackleg. That's what Blackleg has to offer. It's what you could do with it, and yeah, I gotta say, it's pretty nice. Don't get me wrong, I really do think it is a cool ability to have. I definitely don't think it's the best. I just think it's okay. I do like this barrage move a lot, and I like a lot of the stuff you could do with it. I think it's really cool, just to have. But yeah, it could be better though, definitely. But hey, if you want it, definitely a solid ability. Is definitely pretty good combat wise, I would say. Definitely on par with Brawler. And yeah, that is going to be the final, essentially, fighting style of the video. So I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit of a longer one. It's going to be like a 30-minute video or so explaining all of these fighting styles. But hey, if you guys want to see more Mind Know Me content, because I do have about 2 or 3 more videos planned for that, definitely go ahead and subscribe, like I said earlier, because we are trying on to get to the road to 1K. So yeah, if you guys really enjoy the Mind Know Me stuff, definitely go ahead and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys on the next video. So yeah, peace.
Yes, that's you.